this is a more advanced trick that I've been working on with these guys for quite a while. Simon is pretty proficient in bowing. I'm still trying to sort of smooth it out with him, work out the finishing touches. Where Oliver, Simon. Oliver I haven't worked with as much so that you can see the difference between the beginning of the trick and what it looks like as it's come along a little farther. So I'll start with Simon. For this trick I like to use a shorter stick. It's just the same stick as you see there, just cut off and without the handle. And this just allows me to touch more specific places on his body with a little bit more force if I have to, but really it's a cue stick is what I like to call it. So I'll demonstrate this trick, and then when I work with Oliver I'll explain the steps in teaching them how to bow. I'll see if I can hold his attention off the grass long enough to demonstrate this for you. So bow. As I said, we're still working out the finishing touches. Bow, Simon. Bow. So it might take him a minute, but practice makes perfect. Bow, side. Bow, Simon. Bow. Bow. He's thinking about it. Good boy. So there's your bow. Head up. That grass is pretty distracting for him. But that's what it looks like as you get to the point where you could call yourself finished with teaching it. All I need to work with him on now is shortening the time that it takes for him to bring his knee from point A, which is standing, to point B, which is on the ground. Then I'll bring Oliver up here. Whoa, Simon. Good. And show you where I'm at with him. The first step in teaching your steers how to bow is teaching them how to let you handle their feet. Handling feet, stop. Whoa. Handling feet is an important skill to teach your team, and usually you can start them as calves when they're smaller. I handled their feet almost every day when they were calves, and now they'll hold their foot up just about as long as I need them to. And this is important just so that they don't fight against you and struggle to put their foot down as you teach them to bow. So after you have that step mastered, with bigger teams I like to use a rope around their foot just to keep me up and out of the way since they are heavier and slightly more dangerous than a pair of calves would be. With a pair of calves you can just use your hand instead of a rope. So the second step in teaching them how to bow is to get them to accept either the rope as your hand or your hand as an aid to hold their foot up off the ground. The rope can be a little bit more complicated with bigger cattle just since it's a different feeling. But after they accept the rope or your hand to hold up their foot, this is probably the trickiest step. It's getting them to practice that backward motion that will eventually get their knee onto the ground. I practiced this quite a bit with him, so he's very smooth. The first couple of times your cattle are going to be a little bit hesitant, only because it's a different feeling. It feels like they're coming off balance, and their natural instinct is to put their foot down so that they don't fall. But it is just practice. Any effort toward your final goal should be praised for because they are trying for you. But I'll show you with him here what that looks like. My cue is right above his knee, so I'll tap and say bow, bow, and he'll come right back and I'll put it down, and then I'll give him the cue to stand. Up. He'll stand for me. Head up. Good boy. And so that's what it looks like after quite a bit of practice. I'd call him intermediate with this trick since he'll do that for me, but I still do have to use my hand. After they do that smoothly for you, the third step would be to shorten what I like to call air time, which is the time that their knee is going from point A to point B. So how you would do that is after they learn the cue to pick up their foot, catch their foot a little later each time. Oliver, no. Oliver, no. And set it down a little earlier. I'll do that again because he got distracted. Whoa. But I'll ask him to pick up his foot, and I'll catch it later. And I'll set it down now so that he has to finish that bow by himself without my help. Good boy. Up. And so this step will probably take the most time because it is just about shortening the time that you have to support their foot. And eventually, as you saw with Simon, he'll hold his foot up by himself. It does take him a little while to figure out how to put it on the ground, but with more practice, he'll be able to figure that out quicker, and it'll be a finished trick.